Welcome back, everyone. Well, this time rolled around very quickly again. This is really the one video that I hate making every year, and I can't believe it's already 7 years. So a lot of you have been with me from the beginning, and you remember back July 25th of 2019 that my son David and his co-worker Cecil Morgan, who worked for the South Carolina Department of Transportation, they were both killed on the side of the road in, like I said, at 2:23 on July 25th of 2019. So every year I always do, I just figured I'd start at the memorial. If you've never seen it, I've got a video on it. And the stained glass is all relevant to David. So if you haven't seen one of these before, this is what I do every year. I've got family is coming, my daughter Brittany, my son-in-law Kevin, I believe a friend of ours, James, who I believe you've seen before. I know you've seen him. Well, maybe all of you haven't seen him, but he's been on camera. Will be coming up. We do a little, I don't want to say celebration, it's a memorial. And I like to get everything very nice, well, graded up and chopped up and trimmed nicely. So I usually do it also before his birthday in April. And this year, because of the house building, well, I've been doing that for, what, 3 years now. But I did not have a chance to do it in April. So as you can see, if you remember, there's a video back where I cleared that whole area. So from the porch of the house that we could see the flags in the memorial area. And that's 1 year's time. That's how much it's grown in. Those gum trees grow like weeds. So I'm going to get the Yanmar out. I'll get the Yanmar out. I've got the rotary cutter that I put on it. And I will get, what I usually do is I start here. I'll come down the driveway this way. I'll cut that main part over there. I'll come here, all down this way. And what's nice, it's been so dry this year that I won't wreck the grass, because usually it always rains like a lot right before I get to do it. And then and then I make ruts and it makes a mess. But I like to do this before I do the final grass cutting, which I won't do, until next week. Today is Friday the 17th. So I'll get all this, and I'll move down to Gwyn Way. Well, I'll bring you along, but I like to go down Gwyn Way, that retention pond that I built some 4 years ago, I think it was. Because of no rain, it looks just like this. It's dry and it's got just weeds in it. Then I'll go down the North Road over by Eagle Mountain. I'll go down that way just to keep that clear. I'll go back through. I'll go through all my wood trails all the way back around, and then I've got all nice trails in the woods back here, and I like to do that. So it's probably going to take me a few days, but I just I'm trying to get the bathroom, the small bathroom, put together in the new house. So when everybody's here, if we're over there, then I'll have a bathroom ready to go. So I just put a coat of, I primed it yesterday, I just painted the ceiling, and then I've got to do the walls. I'll tile it on Sunday, and I'll grout it on Monday, and then in between I'll continue to work on this. But even here there's a little bit of, not too bad. I try to keep this area nice, but I've got to get the weed whacker out and do all that and do around his house. And I wanted to stain the deck this year, and I never got to that yet. And there's just always so much to do. But like I said, this is the time. I don't really look forward to this time, and it just creeps up very quickly. And what are you gonna do? So all right, let's get started. I've got to move. I've got the Yanmar is in the lean-to on the side of the shop, and it is all the way in the back, so it's tandemly parked. So let's go do a little machine moving and get it hooked up. All right, so this is what we got. So we've got the Kubota tractor, we've got a skid steer, and I've got to change the bucket. Obviously, that's the 18-inch bucket. We got to put on the, I did lock it. Usually I lock it, but sometimes I forget. I haven't started this one in a while, so hopefully the battery still got some juice in it. This one always is never a problem. It's the skid steer, even though I fixed that. That's a good sign. Alright, so that's good. Now let's get this guy going. This is the one that always scares me. I've got to put in a trickle charger lead for it. The battery's just so hard to get at on this. Okay.
Some people do, and some people believe that.
Yep, we're good to go there. All right, let's get the tractor out. Ooh, it is about 97 degrees and probably 97 degrees humidity. I mean, it'll be nice to be in air conditioning. That's what I like an open tractor better than a closed cab like on this, because you know I stand up a lot to look at the forks, and it's just where's the key? But it's days like today that I wish that I had bought the cab model. Like I said, it's very rare that I wish that I had it. All right, next. Second, and let's get the Yanmar out. I don't know, I usually don't put it away empty. It doesn't mean it's full though, but I will want to fill it, so I got a lot to do. And it's 3/4, so we'll fill it up. For no glare. Go drop off the bucket. lock it back up again. Otherwise, we're gonna have to listen to that for the whole. Thank you. That'll drive you crazy. Drive me crazy. Might not drive you crazy. All right, let's fill it up. You never get enough fuel. It seems to always, that's why I like to do the, well, I want to do the closest place just in case there's a problem with something, you know, if something breaks or whatever, but I like to do the farthest part so that I'm closer, because I don't have the fuel tank in the truck anymore. I bring it, the machines to it, because I'm not doing machines every day. So okay, and what I usually do is shut this off, and then I drain the pressure off it because it leaks for some reason. I just drain out whatever will come, and I always put the cap on first because I have once, not on this, but I've done it on the tractor before, where I don't put the cap back on. I get doing stuff and off I go, and I forgot till you see fuel spilling out. And I never put the cap, even though this one I did, but I don't ever put the cap on the tractor. I always put it somewhere else, because if I do forget it, at least I don't lose the cap. So, all right, let's go. We'll get on, we'll hook up the rut. All right, so I know what we're gonna do first after I get this hooked up. I should have done it anyway, but we gotta rinse this dust off this. I can't see out the window. And I've got the AC on, so I do not want to have to, well, I can't have the window open. You can't have the window open when you're rut cutting. Where is the, I can't even see with the sun shining off the, I think that is there. Oh, might help if I opened it, huh? There we go. Okay, shut up now. Gotta hook it up. It's always fun. I'm gonna hook it up over here in case I need some tools. Alright, first thing you gotta do is shut off the thumb, because you don't want to you gotta relieve the pressure off the hydraulics, but you don't want to relieve it off the thumb, because then it'll be hanging down in the way, and as it is, it droops down a little bit as you go, so you want to have it all the way up, but you want to get that, you want to get the pressure off it. So to do that, you put the key to on position, put that down, and work the thumb. That should relieve the pressure, though sometimes you got to crack them on these things, and you want one-way flow. So that's over here, because you only want it can only go one way, so you got to turn that to the one-way flow, and should be done with that wrench until later. And for the part I can't stand, let me get a rag. We don't need to put any dirt in there. But this is the part you got to make sure that it's lined up with the detent. It is. So in theory, this should just push on, and it never does. But let's pray that it does. See, not even close. Not even close. All right, let's try the other one. Maybe we'll get lucky on half of it. Okay, we got half. Let's see if we can get lucky all the way on this one. If not, I'll crack the line down there. Just want to make sure that is detented. It looks like it is. Holy shit, sorry. Beep, I'll have to beep that out. Let's see. So this one is this one. That's that one. It's that side. All right, so much for not needing a wrench. That's why I hate hooking these things up. It's so ridiculous. They should have a relief valve right on it. Like the Takeuchi has a relief valve. You can relieve the pressure. All right, my camera shut off. These stupid things, they get hot and they shut off. I cracked this one first. I said, well, let me try that one. Cracked that, and I got it. So it's hooked up, ready to roll. All right, she's spinning. Let's trim a little bit on our way here. Just want to get this lower. The one thing with this hydraulic flow, you can't really do anything else. You can't track too much. Otherwise, it doesn't go. I don't want to go too much over here, but just enough. We'll wait till we get to some good stuff. All right, we're getting to the good part. Well, I don't know how good it is, but the part that needs to be done. I gotta be careful over here because underneath that board right there is an electric line that's running on the surface. These gum trees, it's amazing how fast they grow up. And I hate when it's this much because I don't remember if there's a stump in there, which I don't want to slam into, obviously. There's one there. So I usually take it pretty easy until I clear it a little bit. But I do not want to hit that electric line either. It would not be good. This is the part here where I really want these gone because this really impedes the view. See, there's a little stump there. And this rut manufacturing, I keep saying it, I mean, they're not, obviously, they didn't give me this, I bought it. but I really like it. It's well made. Hop out, give a little interim here because I'm all just about done on this side. So all the way around, trim that bush there, just coming down this way, just a little bit. Like I said, this area I could get most of it from I got most of it from that side, but this way I could trim a little bit of that, get around this, and I got to go put another coat of paint on the ceiling. And not sure, I think I'm going to come back down this way, then go to Gwyn Way and come back around that way. Give it a little rolling trim. And I'll work my way back. I like to go forward. I like the blade in front because you need it to stabilize in a lot of spots, so you're not jerking around and bouncing and bucking. But also sometimes forget to lift it up if it's behind me. Go figure. Who would have thought? This is area that I call David's Point. It's some of you will remember, this is where, well, we had David's on his celebration after his funeral here in South Carolina. We had a big bonfire right here, and that's a piece of wood. That piece of wood right there, it's actually disintegrating a little bit, but it's, like I said, it's almost 7 years old. And I saved that, and I call this David's Point, and I drive his truck over here, and he gives me signs sometimes over here. And he just gave me one on Father's Day, where he gave me a balloon again over here, a purple one, and it's not a joke, obviously, but he must have told his friend and boss. He also worked at Harbor Freight, so his friend and boss from there did a nice eulogy. Not just the eulogy, he did a lot of things. He made the area that I keep David, and the urn that he's in, he painted pictures of David in the toolbox that he's on, a Harbor Freight toolbox. And anyway, he, at the eulogy, he said, oh, and David, he put a lot of purple. He put a lot of purple into his work, his display, his art. He said, oh, David told me that his favorite color is purple. So I'm pretty sure David was kidding, because I would say that's not his favorite color. I would say black probably was, because almost every shirt he had was black, his truck was black, he had black guitars. I mean, he had, anyway, so I think he did that, I don't know, you know, but I think it was so that he could have a joke, you know. Anyway, so a lot of times the signs I get are purple. So that's the point I was trying to make on that. And this past Father's Day and one before, it was another purple balloon over by Eagle Mountain. And then on Valentine's Day one year, it was a reddish purple balloon. So I always keep this area trimmed. I'm not going to go past this point, because I'll get the rest of it when I go down that way. And man, I'm telling you, it is hot out there today, boy. I went and put a second coat on the ceiling. Didn't really need it, but figured I already had the stuff out. And man, was it nice to get back in here. This all has to be fixed. This all washed down. Everything has to be fixed. I just, obviously, after the house is done, I'll be able to fix everything. I'll turn and I'll show the charred wood in a second when I get over there. This side still shows the char. The other side, there you go, you can see it. So that's what the whole thing looked like. But the other side, you know, 7 years, it's not pressure treated. You know, it's been there for that long, meaning I put it there, you know, right after. I actually saved a piece in the shop as well, where I have David's stuff, some of David's stuff set up on the wall. Alright, well, I'll put it when I get a little farther down. There's not too much to show over here. So that'll give a little look about how much is grown in on it. But I can't get all of it because I can't reach that far down, but that's all right. It's been good because it's stabilizing the bank. So I don't even think I cut this last year because I wanted it to grow. But now that the roots are in there, I can cut it. This area really grew up for some reason. I don't know why. This one spot. I just want to knock it down. I don't want to take too long. There's a lot here and I don't want to scalp it too much. Because I want to keep these, I want to keep them, whatever is growing here, growing. So just want to give it a trim. And this is the area here, which I haven't cut ever, but it's growing up so much just to keep it trimmed now. This is the area that when David worked for DOT, when they would clean ditches or had dirt that they didn't want to, you know, they'd have to drive it all the way back to their shop, which was about a half an hour from here. They would come here, and this is where he used to dump it because we needed it anyway. So it was good, but it had stuff in it that grew. And this is the only area that never washed out, you know, never eroded, because it grew so quickly. Because all kinds of stuff is in the ditch, in the ditches, you know. So I think this is the first time that I'm actually cutting it, because I wanted to keep it. I never, even when with dozing the, you know, getting the slopes here, I never touched it. And even when Chris was here too, he, you know, I asked him to avoid this spot when he was grading, when he came here to stay those few days that time. So this part looks good. I'm being extra careful in here not to scalp it. Like the Grand Canyon over here. A lot of water washed down this area. I gotta fix this. Just haven't had time to do any of it. But I thought that was a neat looking shot anyway. At least from in the cab it did. Maybe from on the camera it didn't. I changed my mind. I am going to go start around the creek, well, into my backwoods, and do the creek first and head around the dam, go down the North Road and come out onto Gwynway and do that one last. I think that makes more sense. I'm tracking a long way without doing anything to go the other way, so that's what I'm gonna do. This is probably just gonna require just a little bit of trimming here. Yeah, that's why you need the blade. I'm over a ditch right here, half on and half over, and without the blade in the front, be bebopping all over the place. I don't like to take too much here because this is property line, and I mean just for visual. It gives a good privacy buffer. Not that there's anything going on, it's just woods, but you never know. I don't think I'm going to have time to go through all the woods like I normally would. Wood. Shit. I don't know, the house has just taken me so much time, and I'm always trying to get one thing done. Like I said, I'm trying to get the bathroom done. A bathroom. Before everybody gets here. Not that we'll probably spend too much time in there. We tried to do it last year and it was just too hot. So I'm about 2 weeks away from getting electricity. The electricity turned, you know, the meter put in, and then we'll have air conditioning. They're not too bad really, but I still have to go through them. Like I said, I have a feeling it's not going to be on this time. Oh, we got a little tree came down over here. See that? That's a tree that fell down right there. We had a pretty good thunderstorm the other day. I bet you that's what it was. I usually try to drive through at least here, you know, on the side-by-side at least every couple of days, just to make sure there's no, you know, nothing going on that's not supposed to be. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's a few trees down, which I hope not. At least if I could move it with this, meaning having the cutter on it. Very peaceful in here. I like to walk. I like to walk in here. I made these trails. They were just all overgrown woods. Probably 12 years ago I did it. I try to keep the upper part clear too, just so if I ever have to bring the Cabelco down here for any reason, that I don't have to bushwhack. Sorry you can't see up there too good, but neither can I. You know, I would put more, you know, I used to use a tripod a lot, but I don't know, the newer GoPros, they don't like the heat. They shut off, and the thing will be out there for 20 minutes, and you go to get footage of it, and it's, you know, it missed half of it because it'll say shut off duty overheating. So it's kind of ridiculous. I mean, isn't that what they're made for? If you know, action stuff, which is outside, right? Doesn't like cold, doesn't like heat. I mean, all right, I'll put it back out when I get around the corner. All right, coming out to the creek trail here. Didn't take too much back in that one where I just came from. It was just kind of like this. So it doesn't get a lot of sunlight, obviously, right here. So things don't grow crazy. But right there is it's down about 16 feet to the creek, which we're having a drought, and there's probably 3 inches of water in it. There's usually like 3 feet of water in it, and in storms, especially in the hurricanes, this has come up and over. Right about here and right there, right in front of the cutter. That's the lowest spot. But I'll swing around here and you'll be able to see. See, there's like hardly any water in there. And again, these cameras do not give any depth perception, but I can just barely reach down to the bottom. Well, I can't reach the bottom here, I'm too far out. And I don't have to reach to the bottom, but you'll see when I get over the side here. I don't like to get too close to the edge here because I can't tell if it's been undermined, or there's a few places where it's, after a storm, it'll get undermined on the edge. And I don't want to end up on the bottom of the creek. This is a nice place to sit as well. So I like to keep it trimmed. Like I said, I usually do this in April as well, but I didn't have time. But it really wasn't, this April, it wasn't too bad. It hadn't really grown up yet. See that or not. And again, I don't like to take it all. I like it to live, because this creek, all this water most of it comes from North Carolina when there's a storm, and this thing will rage. So I do not want it to wash out. I've only had to fix it one time. It was like in 2017, I believe, after one of the hurricanes. I don't know if it was Matthew. Can't remember which one it was. Florence, I think it was. But somebody's hunting stand had washed down, and it was right over there. I had to get the big excavator down here and clear it up. Again, I don't have to go too crazy here, but like I said, I like to keep it trimmed so I can see the water when we come around here, because it's a nice peaceful spot. Alright, I'll put it on in a second. Let me get farther down. Alright, I figured I'd set the camera up outside just so you can get a little bit of a look, but I don't know if that gives a better idea of how deep that is. But you can see when the water comes down, it hits over there, and it kind of hits into this corner right here, so right there. So that's why I don't sit on top of that, because you can't tell how far under that is, and nothing continues to grow in that spot, unfortunately. So I try to leave as much as I can. But here, let me set this camera up. I'll leave it right here for now, and then maybe you can get an idea. Hopefully. put this clip of David every year in here, but at after one of the storms, he was looking at the tower that fell down there, and he was standing right there. So I always put this clip in because I think of it all the time. The only real difference is that tree has collapsed down, rotted a little bit, and fell down. You can see in the clip it's up higher. It's more horizontal, but I always think of it every time when I come over here. Alright, I did a little bit of the woods trails. I got a memory lane in there, which I don't think I've ever showed, but I'm going to make my way down the dam. But as usual, I always pick a different way to go. And this has to get done anyway. This time of the year, when it's so hot and no rain, the lake always gets this algae like crap floating around in it, and it goes away after like in the fall, definitely in the by the winter, but it just looks nasty. I wasn't really intending to do it in here today. I was gonna wait, but looks like Forrest Gump. Since I come this far, figured I might as well keep going. Alright, I'm gonna make my way down the dam. Alright, another little corner here. There's a lot of grass. It's nice. This stuff is what I wish would grow everywhere. But it doesn't. More good grass over here too. I guess it's weed, but it's kind of like grass. It just doesn't grow where you want it to. And I guess I gotta be thankful for wherever it is. It's thick too. Not that this is a finish mower, but it doesn't like it doesn't like to cut it. Thick. I'm almost to the dam. Onward. Alright, I'm not sure how much I'm going to do on the dam here because I want to make sure this keeps growing. I'm just going to do a little trim because this is important to hold this together. And this is turning out to be pretty good here, meaning what's growing. I'm not even going to touch that side right now. I'm going to let it keep going. Oh, one of my white birds came to see me. See? And today is 892 weeks ago David was born. I count those two. And the white bird is one of the signs that I get. And it's almost 2 o'clock now. Watch out, white birdie. They like to eat what flies out of what I'm cutting. We got some good growth over here too. The water, I mean, it really is probably 5 feet low from this drought. The island pond is popping out over there. And that's usually about 4 feet over that. We really haven't had any rain, and when we get a thunderstorm, it's 10 minutes. And everything's so dry that it just goes to make all the weeds grow and the stuff you don't want to. Here come 3 more white birds. They're still with me. Just making the turn down to the North Road. Trim this corner out a little bit. See if I can reach that one just barely. Not all of it, but it'll make it look better and still keep growing, so it will hold the bank. Area is just a little bit of a rolling trim. There's not too much here. Good grass growing on this side though. The side that I don't need it to grow on. Go figure, and it's all the same stuff. I mean, I built it all, it's all, you know, this all came from the same spot. You know, I built this whole thing up. So why it's nice on that side and not this side, I don't know. Now I'm down to the end of the North Road. As you can see, right across from the mansion pretty much. And this really grows up. This is super thick. Water level is usually right up to there. You can see where it's been, and so I gotta be careful. There's all kinds of crap in here, meaning concrete chunks, and you never know what you're going to find in here. And I don't know where the ground level is. It's not all level. Again, it's something that needs to be fixed when the time comes. This whole thing's going to be built up. I'm going to take more of that gumbo there and build the rest of this road up so it's not so narrow right here, because this, in the rain, this stuff is really slickery and you could slide right off into the water. Again, there's a little bit of a hill in here. I have to be careful. So, all right, I'll put it down when I get a little farther. elephant ears. I kind of like them. I just trim them back a little bit. I like to leave some of them because they're kind of neat looking. And if you see me use the sticks when I back up a lot, it's because in this machine the pedals are so small, and especially the reverse, I don't know if you can see them, but the reverse pedals, they're hard to hit, and it gets jerky because you can't really push them even unless you stomp on them all the way, at least for me. So when I'm going backwards, especially if I'm in a tight spot, that's why if you see me, it's not because I don't use my feet. In the Cabelco, see, I can do it right there because I'm just going full. But if I'm trying to fine-tune something, I don't like to, because it's, like I said, it's just too. Oh, I guess that tree came down, huh? See if I can push some of it up into the woods and not pull it back out. All the white birds are still with me. There's a couple more. Over the years, I've tried to clear all the concrete bits because the former owner used to dump all his junk all over here, and I've been clearing it out, but I always get a surprise every year. I'll hit 1 or 10. It drops off right there. You got to be careful right here. You can't go too far because where is it? Right there, see? There's nothing. This grass is deceiving. There's concrete over here, I know it. Right on that edge, I missed it, so that's good. I didn't finish yesterday, so I left the Yanmar over there. I'm kind of got to pick up over there, but this is the retention pond that I built. I don't know, it's probably 4 years ago, I guess. But there's been no rain except today. I'm late now. I tiled the floor, one of the bathrooms, and I'm talking a monsoon hurricane for 10 minutes. But I don't think I'll be going down in there. I was almost thinking of going down in on that end and getting it without going all the way around it, but I think I'm going to go around it, and then I'm going to go up that way. So, whew, and now it cooled it off, but now it's back to 900% humidity. So I'll turn it back on again when I get over here. Well, this is where I left off yesterday. And I'm pretty sure, this wasn't here. Oh, so that thunderburst that I said came through, it was like a hurricane. I mean, it was like a microburst come down, let me tell you. See, I told you I'm always finding concrete. There's a brick. But those broke off So I guess I won't be grinding those up. I'll have to come back with a bucket. Let's see, can I grind this up? Nope. Nope, there's a tree in there. Oh well. Guess I won't be driving around till probably tomorrow, because I got to get this done. Alright. I just finished. Now I can get a defined edge as to where I won't fall over again, so I'll bring the mower and I'll clean all this up from there, but at least I got that part. And like I said, I'll come back, I'll take this off, put a bucket back on, and I'll go move those trees. All right, let's go over here now. I'm not going to do too much. This video is getting long. So this is my third day, so it's not a whole day. Like I said, I've been working on the house, painting, tiling. So I won't be, but it's the third day of me videoing, and I'm already up to an hour. So I won't take too much more time. Though some people like it to be long and some people don't. And again, I do it mainly for history, so when I'm 120 and I want to look back and see what I did, I'll want to watch it. Being an hour or hour and 10 minutes or whatever this might end up to be. I'll put a link to the video for when I made this. I used the Cabelco the first time. I've cleaned it out once, if I remember. I'm pretty sure I cleaned it out with this once. And I actually bought the rake, if you remember, 2 years ago. Is it 2 years ago? Yeah. 2 years ago at the Florida auction, Chris got one as well. He got one for his 220. And I got a rake. And I really got it for this. But I didn't get it for when it was going to be totally full of grass like this. It just hasn't rained, like I said. So I'll probably be digging this out again at some point soon. Well, I don't know how soon, but next year probably. But at least I don't want it to look like this. So, all right, let me move around a little bit and we'll get some more. Like I said, I set the camera up out there. I'm not sure if it fogged over. My glasses fogged right over because it is humid. Plus it's nice and cool and dry in here, so the contrast, and that camera was in here, so we shall see. Alright, I make no guarantees. It won't be fogged over. It is super humid. My glasses are all fogged up. I can't even see. I got to get over to the point. I have an overflow drain. Not that you need it anymore, but it used to be full all the time. Man, really, like I said it 80 times already, but it's been so dry. But I always got to make sure I don't hit it. It's right there. I've hit it once before. See it? Right there. So we won't get too crazy. See it? It's right. I gotta clean it off. Just want to make sure I don't hit it. Here we go. I don't care about scalping it down here. Look at it. This is where I gotta be careful, because sometimes I get a little overzealous. close enough. I'd really like to get all this too. I usually do it, but I'm not going to have time. I just found out that James, today is Tuesday, I found out that James is coming. He's coming tomorrow. So I got to pick him up at the airport. And my daughter and son-in-law are coming on Thursday. I wish they were both coming on the same flight because they both live near each other. Because I am not done. I'm never done. And again, this will be another time when I know David won't mind, but I mind that I haven't done everything that I want to do in preparation. He sent me 2 woodland storks this morning, white, so my white birds. I saw them when I came outside to feed our ducks, and Miss Wonderful got a picture of them. My camera was in the shop, cameras were in the shop, and my phone was inside, so I yelled to her and she came and took the picture, but there's no video. But they're even on the endangered species list down here, so it's pretty neat. So I'm pretty sure David had something to do with that, because I've never seen one here before. You get the idea for this. Maybe I'll, as I go back up, if there's anything interesting, I shall do it. Otherwise, I will make an ending. I'll show you at the end. Oh, and look who just showed back up. My white bird buddy. All right, so I couldn't resist doing this spot. I said I didn't have time, and I probably don't have time, but what the heck. Gotta make time. This gives a good view from over here. So I want to keep it clear, because if I wait too long, then it's going to be even harder to do. So I've cleared this once. I gotta keep it clear. Once I'm done with the house, I'll be able to keep up with everything. And it's getting there. We've ordered all the interior doors, we got the floor, we got the cabinets being built, we got obviously all the paint, we got tile, we got furniture. That's been ordered. That's been ordered in for months now, because we ordered some custom stuff and it took a while, but not as long as it took me. So I can say that I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm pretty sure now at this time it's not the train. Alright, so the last little bit over here, again, can't get the depth, but that's probably 30 feet down to the water. Wouldn't want to go over the edge, that's for sure. Get as much as I can without getting too close. Which is about where I am. Whoa, white bird. These white birds are really going to town. It's amazing how many bugs they pull out. Alright, here we are in the video. I thought it would be a fitting place to do it at the memorial area. So the flag was blowing nicely 2 seconds ago. There we go. And you can see all the part I cut. You can't see the other parts, but it looks pretty good. I still have to do a little bit more. Today is Wednesday. Just getting ready to go pick up James. So this is where we'll be on Saturday. So if everybody at 2:23 on Saturday, July 25th, so this coming Saturday, we will be all over here, and you've probably seen it before, but I drive David's truck around and blow the horn and do thing. I did live last year. I did a live last year, but I don't know if I'll do it this year or not. Probably not. It's not, again, can't stand this time of the year, but I like to do, you know, let me sit down. I like to do as much as I can to make it nice, because, you know, David loved it here. And so again, if you would like to if you'd like to think of David, have a beer with all of us at 2:23. Miss Wonderful is coming home. We're gonna go leave and pick up James, but we can all send to the collective to David together, and let him know that we're thinking about him and sorry that it happened and miss him. So as usual, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one, and the next one will be happier.